Good day everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be factorizing trinomials. Now before we engage in this application, it's very important to note that whenever we factorize, there are certain key elements that we need to be accustomed with regards to algebra. For instance, suppose you are to factorize the following suppose you are required to factorize. Let's look at first example. We have question 1 as a squared plus 7a plus 12. So first instance is to be able to identify that this expression is actually written in descending order. This is the confirmation. It is written in descending order with 2, or rather a square as the highest degree in this expression. So now by factorization, first of all thing that we need to do is to have our values. Firstly is to identify all the factors of 12, or rather the constant in this case. We have 1, 2 is a factor, 3 is a factor of 12, 4 is a factor of 12, 6 is a factor of 12, and then lastly 12 is a factor of 12. So just to verify and confirm by retest is to multiply those two factors together, those extreme factors. They should actually be able to give you this product here. Let's check and verify the second composition. In this case we have 2 and 6. 2 and 6 will still give us 12, and then 3 and 4 will give us 12. Now what we need to do now is to initially have our parentheses, and then we have a and a in our as a leading terms in our parentheses, because a times a gives us a squared. So we look at those two factors which satisfy the sum whenever we get the product of those two terms, or those two factors rather. These, when we add them, in this case we should be able to get positive 7. So we have those two factors. One factor is 3 and the other factor is 4. So we look at the middle term. In fact, if we look at the middle term in this case is positive 7a, and look at the operation that stands in front of the 7 is positive. Because it's positive, the bigger value in this case between 4 and 3 is 4, and then because 4 is the bigger value, it gains that operation, which is positive. So positive times this positive here gives us positive, and then that is our answer. Let's look at another example. I have to use the space sparingly. Now, looking at the same problem but using different applications. So the second application is to actually consider this application. So we have a squared plus 7a plus 12. Now, within this application, one needs to do is to actually multiply a multiplied by a. So we have a multiplied by a to give us a squared as a leading coefficient. So we want to multiply those two a's by a value or certain factor, so that after getting the product of those factors, we should be able to sum those products to be able to get a sum of the middle term. Now in this case, we know that a times positive 3 and a times positive 4 will yield that result. In this case, we have a times positive 3, we have positive 3a. A times positive 4, we have positive 4a. So remember, the whole logic is to make sure that we add those two products. So by adding those, we have 3 plus 4 gives us 7a. Okay, now because we have 7a which satisfy this term here in our expression, then we can start concluding on the basis of that these are our factors. So by factorization or factorizing that, we have a plus 3, okay, in our first parenthesis, this parenthesis, and then we have a plus 4 in our second parenthesis in our yellow box or rectangle. So technically that is our answer. So notice the answers are the same. So our answer here is the same as the answer B. Okay. Now, using another method, in fact, I wish to use this space. Okay, now using the third method or other technique. So now our third application goes like this: a squared plus 7a plus 12. Okay. Now in this case, we just need to consider whether this is written in descending order. Yes, it is written in descending order. So what you do is just to multiply the two factors. So we have 1 in this case as a leading value in our coefficient here, and then we multiply that by this 12 here. Let's go ahead and multiply those two values together. So 1 times 12 gives us 12. So in other words, 1 times 12 gives us 12. But that's not what we want, because these two factors, they cannot give us, when you add or subtract their product, cannot give us that 7a. So we have to find another composition. So in other words, we can look at the next factor after 1. It's 2 times 6 will give us 12 again. When we add or subtract those two factors, 2 and 6, will not give us 7a. Another third composition is 3 multiplied by 4. This indeed gives us 12. Okay, so because of that, what we need to do now is to just simply consider using the correct applications, or rather correct operations. So we have positive 3 multiplied by positive 4 gives us positive 12. Similarly, we have to add, making sure that we add or sum those two factors. So we have positive 3 plus, in fact, I prefer to put it in the bracket, plus positive 4, and give us positive 7. Now, by splitting this now, we have 1a squared plus 7a plus 12. By splitting this middle term, remember it's a trinomial, by splitting this we have 3a plus 4a, and what we need to do is just to simply drop the positive 12. This positive 12, you drop it there, and you also drop the a squared. So we have a squared plus. Now grouping this, by grouping we have, you can simply group them in that fashion. And then what we need to do now is to just simply look at the common factors. So we have a plus 3, and my common factor there is plus 4, and we have a plus 3. Notice in our parentheses we have same identities here, so you can go ahead by writing them down. So we have a plus 3, and then in our group another set of factors, so we have a plus 4. So we have a plus 4. There they are, a plus 4. And then that is our answer for our third application. So notice we have here, we have the first answer. In our preceding part of this exercise, we have a plus 3 multiplied by a plus 4 there. And then on the second application, we have a plus 3 multiplied by a plus 4 there. Same answer. In our third application or third installment, we have a plus 3 multiplied by a plus 4. And there it is. And then that brings us to the end of our first example.